Hello, spooky friends, and welcome to another episode of Storytime with the Scary-ish Podcast.
Woo!
I'm Robin Grace. This is Adam Diaz.
Hello.
And these episodes are dedicated to reading your homegrown horrors that you've generously shared with us to share with you.
Indeed. If you have a story like that, I will tell you what they are. Actually, I don't know. I just sort of jumped into your part. So the stories that we typically get from you wonderful folks are paranormal, supernatural, spiritual, sometimes true crime, sometimes cryptid-related, sometimes coincidental, where you thought something spooky was happening, but nothing actually was. Those ones tend to be hilarious. And if someone had a story like that, Robin, where could they send them?
You can send them to our email, storytime@scaryish.com. You can also go to our website, scaryish.com. There's a contact us page. You fill out that form, and it gets to us that way.
Indeed. So there's a lot of ways to reach out to us. We would love to hear from you. And I know we have this typical intro. It's pretty standard. I think some people kind of tune it out because it's like, white noise. And then you're like, all right, let's just get to the stories. This is the point where I would like to say, send us your stories. If you have stories to share and you've been sitting on them, send them, write me out. If you have friends that have stories, you'd be like, oh yeah, they should share it. Let them know to send them because we're getting caught up on the backlog and we want to keep story time going. So send us your stories. All right, so we are going to have 4 stories tonight, as per usual. Pretty excited to jump into it. Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
Why don't you go ahead and go first?
Okay, I can do that. All right, so let me get into my first story, and the first story of the evening. The subject is brainwaves and spooky coincidences. And it starts out like this. Hey, Adam. Hey, Robin.
Hello.
Hello. I recently discovered your podcast on Spotify, shout out Spotify, from someone I watch on YouTube. I wonder who that could be. You guys have officially made it into the big leagues.
Woo-hoo!
Jokes aside, I love spooky shit, and I feel like I have watched all the great, good, and mildly questionable horror/thriller films and shows out there, so your podcast was a welcome reprieve.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yeah, me too. Anyway, I have 2 stories. I was compelled to write about this first one after listening to Storytime episode 3, and how Adam was talking about his brother and the brainwaves thing. So before I move on, I'll refresh, because this is Storytime episode 142.
Yep.
So that was 139 episodes ago.
Oh my goodness.
So my brother had this theory back in the day where you become accustomed to someone's brainwaves, because brainwaves actually exist. And if you're hurt or in some way like panicked, your brainwaves will change, and someone that's attuned to your brainwaves might notice, and it might feel like intuition, or it might just be like, I think there's something wrong, but it's almost like your brain is sending out an SOS that is not verbal. And I really liked that idea when I was growing up, because it kind of explained why people would get like weird feelings sometimes, like, I think there's something wrong with so-and-so, And you could be like massive distances away and still feel that, which is still really unexplainable to me. But I remember explaining this to my friends while I had that feeling about my brother, who was having like one of the worst experiences of his life. So it's something that I always think about when stuff like that happens. So that is what this person is referring to, in case you did not remember, because you don't have a memory that goes back 3 years. So the email continues. Context: I'm studying to become a doctor, so you best believe I researched if that theory had any credence.
That's amazing.
That is
Congratulations.
Awesome.
Good luck getting your degree.
It's a lot of schooling, and I hope you do well. The email goes on to say, I'm still undecided on that matter, but part of me does want that to be true. A few years ago, my boyfriend and I hadn't been talking much. He just needed space because a family member of his had passed away, whom he was close with. In parentheses, he isn't a touchy-feely person, and I suck with consolation. Go figure. That's rough, and I think you handled it the right way. So
a lot of people are really bad with consoling other people. I know when my sister was really upset when my grandma passed away, I was just like,
there.
You're fine.
If we get too serious of topics, and not even topics, but like messages sent to us on like Facebook or Instagram, Robin's like, that one's all you, bud. And I'm like, oh, cool.
I'm really not good at it.
We got some really nice compliments sent to us today, and so I got a message from her while she was at work that said, like, so that Instagram message is all you. And I was like, all right, let me put on my therapist cap really fast. And I got into it, and it was just like compliments about the topic.
Your topic.
And I was like, oh, okay, cool. It wasn't something like super serious, but I don't know if I'm good at it, but I'm more comfortable addressing it, I think, because I've had like crazy stuff happen in my life, as most of you know. So I will continue with this email. I remember it was a Wednesday night, and that night when I was finishing up work, I ended up in a really bad car accident.
Oh, wow.
Unbeknownst to me at the time, but my boyfriend had started calling me literally as I had finished my shift and had started up my car. I don't text and drive, in parentheses. That is very smart. The next day, when I had the chance to talk to him, he told me that he felt something wasn't right.
Oh, wow.
Mind you, he lived in the next state over, and the only way he could contact me was through my phone. In parentheses, hadn't met my family and friends yet. The way he recalled it, he felt like I was in big trouble and had started spamming my phone the exact moment I started my car to tell me that something was wrong and I needed to be careful. Really funny how that works.
I think that's really impressive that this is someone that you were dating that didn't hadn't met your friends, hadn't met your family, but he still was like vibing with you on such a big thing, you know? I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I think it is too.
Unless you're not together anymore, in which case it's like, well, that was neat at the time.
What's also funny, and this is me just being like a little bit out there, which is typically not the case, is that I think there's a lot of instances where people who are really reserved and who aren't touchy-feely are that way because they have like some empath tendencies, you know, where it's like a feedback loop of grief. It's really hard to be around other people that are grieving at the same time as you because you have your grief and you have their grief, which is like
Theo.
Yeah, it's Theo. It's entirely Theo from
Haunting at Hill House
season 1. So it's possible like that. It's something he was obviously very plugged into like how you were, and it's a really weird sign that someone who is so like not disconnected but isolated when it comes to dealing with things like that would have that happen. So I will continue. It says, my second story is more coincidental than anything, depending on what you want to believe. Possibly both spooky and coincidental. I visited my cousin who lives in Canada, as I live in Australia and had never been. I've been to Canada a lot. I've never been to Australia.
I've never been to Australia. It's definitely one of the bucket list places to visit.
Oi! I just want to do that down there.
Oh my god. Down under.
Down under. She lives in Canada with her mum. Her dad works elsewhere. And she had previously mentioned jokingly that a ghost also lives in the house with her. One night we were watching Oculus. I fucking love that movie.
That movie is so intense.
Yeah, it really is.
I don't know. I know you love it, but I've seen it once and I see it pop up on Hulu. I'm like, should I watch it? No,
it's
I'm
an
good.
excellent horror film because it's a good film that you kind of don't want to watch again because it's creepy.
Yep.
All right, so they were watching Oculus. One night, we were watching Oculus because why not? And I kid you not, the literal second after the movie ended, all the lights in the house went out. All of them. We contacted our neighbors, and it was only our house that had the lights below.
Make sure you're not eating any apples.
Yeah, don't eat an apple when that's happening. Just watch the movie if you don't know what we're talking about. I tried to rationalize it as the fuse box being blown. It had been showing pretty badly that year. But when we went to check it, it was fine. None of the lights would turn on with the switches. To say we were freaked is an understatement. Another tangent, I'm religious, so what we believe in our religion is the more aware you are and allow yourself to be about the supernatural, demons, and other dimensions, etc., the easier it is for them to take hold of you, contact you, etc. I think that's present in a lot of religions. It's like piercing the veil type of thing. Like if you notice them, they'll notice you. So I will continue reading. We did what any normal young adult does and ran to my auntie to tell her about the lights and the weird coincidence. Funny thing is, when my auntie tried turning on the lights, they all switched on, as if nothing had happened. The next few nights, we also started to hear scratching on the roof above our room and in some of the other rooms too. So, coincidence or spooky shit? You decide, but you best believe I slept under the blanket the whole night. Love your podcast. Your energy and enthusiasm is contagious, and I love it.
Aww.
Keep up the great work. A smiley face.
Thank you so much for joining us here at with the Spooky Fam and starting to listen to our episodes and support us. And thank you for sending in your stories.
Shout out to Jessica Braun. I'm just guessing.
It's like every episode.
I mean, we got a lot of people that came over because of her, and it's amazing. I will say, like, coincidences absolutely line up with things that make it seem paranormal or supernatural. And if it is not something like that, then the event can be easily corrected. And the way I can explain that is all the lights went out. You immediately went to the rational thing of, clearly it's the breaker box. Let's go check the breaker box. And then you start flipping switches and nothing's working. My first thought is maybe there was a master that had been thrown and you didn't realize it. But I would trust you in this situation to know that because you were saying you were flipping them all and still nothing was coming on.
Out here, it seems like a lot of the main power stations blow.
Yeah, they explode and burst into flames.
What are those called? Transformers? Lots of those happen all the time.
It's not even just the Transformers. It's like the whole, like, half a block power station. It's happened since we've lived in this location for 4 years. Twice. Like, massive fires, like, within a mile of the house.
Yeah.
So, and one of them knocked out our power. The other one, shockingly, did not. So I would say that the creepiest part about that story is when you went to get your aunt and she came downstairs, aunt, however you want to say it, and she threw the exact same switches. All of a sudden it worked. It's like, okay, demons, definitely fucking demons. Like, you have a rational reaction at first, something doesn't work, and then for no reason it does for someone else. It's like, this is some spooky shit. So I think you reacted really well, and if you have other stories, we definitely want to hear them. So thank you for sending that in to us.
So for the next email we're going to read here, it begins. Hi, Robin and Adam.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. I've been listening to your show for the past few months. I've been trying my best to catch up. I finally made it to November of 2019. You are so close.
Yeah, you are.
I've turned
Holy crap, that's almost a year ago.
I've turned my whole family onto your podcast, and my 6-year-old Woods absolutely loves it. I don't know how I feel about this.
Right.
He's 6.
We
He should.
swear a lot.
Oh my god. Okay, so
We swear way less now than we did in
do
the
swear
beginning.
way less than we used to, which is nice. I think the quality of the episodes and things like that have definitely gone up. It helps that my niece yelled at us about
swearing,
it.
Yeah,
I think she's like 7 now, but she definitely yelled at us about swearing, and we've definitely tried to cut back on that. My husband and I love you guys for your constant sarcasm and jabs at one another, especially since we're the same way. Not a day goes by that I don't, quote-unquote, break up with him.
That's funny.
What's funny is one day we drove past this huge billboard that just said, Divorcio.
Yeah, so now when we argue,
And
it's like, Divorcio.
Yeah. Because it's just, I don't know.
We've been doing that for years.
For years. Oh my God. I think we've been together for almost 8 years.
Yeah.
So it's been
a while.
half a decade at least.
Yeah, way longer than half a decade.
Least.
I think it's closer to a decade than it is to half a decade.
You think so?
Yeah.
Nice. Anyway, I wanted to share a story with you about something that my son said a few years ago that really freaked me out. Let me give you some backstory. Me and 2 of my kids had just escaped a very volatile situation with my ex-husband, their biological dad. My son was about 3 years old at the time and had just started preschool. At the time, I had just moved in with my now husband. We were still dating at the time, and our then 7-year-old son was adamant that our house was haunted. We were in the car one morning on our way to school, and Woods, our then 3-year-old, told me that there was a creepy baby haunting our house.
Fuck that.
Yep. And that his little sister, Eowyn, pronounced Eowyn, it's from Lord of the Rings, yeah.
So you nailed it. Good job on the pronunciation.
Because we love Lord of the Rings. At least, I mean, I think I like Lord of the Rings more than you do.
I would say
you're
that's
more
fair.
like Star Wars.
I'm way more into Star Wars.
But totally got you there. Because the email continues. Cut me some slack. We're dorks around here. Dude.
Same.
I want to name one of our kids Lucario, okay? There's no shame. Couldn't see it. So his little sister Eowyn couldn't see it because it was too scary. This, in and of itself, scared the shit out of me, but being the inquisitive therapist that I am, I had to ask him some questions to get more information. I asked him what the baby looked like. He said it looked like a zombie. I asked him where it lived. He said it was buried deep, deep under the ground, under our basement, so deep that even if someone dug, they wouldn't be able to find it. I asked him how the baby died. He told me it died because its parents weren't taking care of it or protecting it. He told the same story with the same details multiple times over the next few months, scaring the shit out of multiple family members. Fast forward to about a year later, again, we're in the car, maybe on the way to school. Woods says, Mom, remember the time I told you about the creepy baby haunting our house? Well, I made it all up. What a freaking dickhead.
You little liar.
The email continues, what a relief. Thanks for reading my story. I have a few other stories that are heartfelt and or interesting that I will share later, but that's all for now. Love you guys, and shout out to Spotify for leading me to you. That is
hilarious.
Oh my God, your kid is so mean.
Creative though.
Creative.
A lot of creative
Yes.
energy there. So
But it's like,
gotta encourage that.
This mom is a therapist. She's like, I need to figure out what's going on with my kid. Why does he keep saying he sees this? And then so for months he's like, this is it. This is my story. I'm sticking to it.
The one detail that he said where I was like, that's sus, is when he's like, it's buried so deep, no one will ever find it. It's like, I was like, can't go look.
Okay, so that goes on both sides. Either it's like, it's so intense that it's made up, or it's so intense that it's just straight up terrifying if it were real.
I think when that detail pops up when you're like interrogating for additional details, that's a little sus. That's all I'm saying. So good stuff, though.
Children are sus, period.
Children say the darndest things, as I just relayed in my topic episode for the aerial school phenomenon, which happened 1994. If you haven't heard episode 150 yet, go listen to it. I think it's one of our better episodes we've ever had. I'm actually really proud of it. And also, quick shout out to anyone who's watching live. Go ahead and go over to episode 150 on YouTube and click like, because we had someone that clicked dislike on it, and it's really been bothering me because I worked really, really fucking hard on that episode, okay? So it's so funny, though, because we've had such amazing support and such incredibly microscopically low numbers when it comes to thumbs down on YouTube.
Yeah.
So when I was like, man, I'm so proud of this fucking episode, and I got on, I was like, 7 likes. Nice. That's a lot to start out the day. 2 dislikes.
It's almost a 50%.
I was like, what the fuck? It's 77%. So it's on our analytics.
On Asian scale, it's an F.
I was really, really bummed out. But yeah, I just need to fucking concentrate on the good stuff. But either way, thank you so much for sending that in.
Yeah, thank you so much for sending it in. I just think it's absolutely hilarious.
Good stuff. All right, so we are at the halfway point. We have read 2 of our stories, which is now the typical time that we take a quick ad break. So, we did say last week that we had an exciting announcement, and I think people went a little bit crazy
we got
anticipating what our announcement would be.
Someone was like, oh my gosh, is it a baby?
I saw
like,
multiple
nah.
people ask if it was Spooky Child on the way, and we're like, whoa, no. So if you've already listened to the episode that came out today, you know what that announcement was, and that announcement is that we have a sponsor, which is very exciting. So we were reached out to by Manscaped, which is a product that I have used in the past and discussed at great length in vivid detail, regardless of whether you wanted to hear it or not. And they're like, hey, would you like a discount code that will be attached to your show and perhaps free shipping? And would you like to run some ads? I was like, hell yeah, because I've already kind of done that for you guys for free because I really like your product. So this is, I guess, the ad, and then we're just going to work right into it. The people that are watching live get a special part of this ad because you get to see it, because we actually have some of the stuff that was sent to us right here.
Kayla Ray Reeds is like, it couldn't be Spooky Child because Robin was taking shots last week.
That's funny. Very observant. But yeah, so we had some stuff that was sent to us. We had t-shirts, underwear that was sent to us. I've already worn the underwear. Incredibly comfortable.
They're so
soft. Freaking soft. I couldn't believe my...
But we can't show that to you because it's just like dong.
I was going to say, I couldn't believe my balls. But yeah, it was super soft. I was also sent anti-chafing ball deodorant, which is the Crop Preserver. Have not used it yet. Smells wonderful. Very excited to use that. And then, of course, no box would be complete without Crop Reviver, which is refreshing ball toner, which is interesting.
It's like, you know, when you need a little fresher down there.
Yeah. And then, of course, the product that I've already purchased and already own and use frequently, which is their trimmer, which is known as the Lawnmower 3.0. It is small. It has a headlight on it in case you're going to be doing this in the dark. It's fairly quiet.
Why would you do it in the dark?
Just in case you wanted to.
It's so that you can see in the really deep crevices.
Exactly. But it's also like super sensitive skin safe, which is why I ordered it in the first place, because we have like a trimmer that was usually used for like trimming hair. And I was like, I really don't want to use this on sensitive parts of my body.
You should just trim just one whole side of your cheek. Just be like...
We did discuss putting a number on a goal that we could put up for this episode, where if we hit a certain amount of money donated, I would make a YouTube video of me trimming like a bat symbol into my chest hair, because there's enough to do it. We didn't pull the trigger on that. Maybe next week. Tune in. But yeah, these things are small. They're pretty amazing. And if you've never used something before that's like meant specifically for sensitive skin, I sincerely recommend that you just look into the product. It's 20% off if you use code SCARYISH, all caps, and it is free shipping. You want to trim me, don't you?
Yeah, why not?
All right, so if you want to just do that, so it doesn't hurt.
Do I do it this way?
I've never been nicked. However you want to do it. It doesn't matter either way. If you go up, the hair just falls off. If you go down, you just pile it up underneath the blade. So, but it works. Like, I now have a patch on my arm. But it's wonderful.
I just want to shave the rest off.
What's also super cool is it's waterproof. I use this in the shower, and you can pop the blade off pretty easily if I remember how to do it. I know, you took out so much of my hair. And the blades are totally replaceable, so it's very similar to like a disposable blade that you would use on your face, and it's almost the same price. So I really love these things, and like I mentioned, I have brought up on the show before, so go ahead and check them out. Either you want them, or maybe you want to give them as a gift, but now's a really good time to buy it. And they supported us. They reached out to support us. I'm really happy that this is one of the sponsors that we got.
So if you folks want to get a set or whatever for yourself, or buy gifts for Christmas or whatnot, you can use our discount code on their website. If you go to manscaped.com, use our code SCARYISH, and you get 20% off and free shipping, which is absolutely amazing. 20% off already is a big deal, but free shipping, anytime there's free shipping, I'm like, click yes.
Right. Really good product. I absolutely support them, and I'm really glad that they support us. So we beseech you to support them. So thank you so much one more time, Manscaped. All right, so that's it for Manscaped. We're going to move into the regular commercials now. Thank you so much. And we're back. All right, so I'm going to move into my second and the third email of the show. And this one's subject is the weird Satan shit that happens in the woods. That's a pretty good subject, I won't lie. It starts out like this. Hello, it's Soviet MiG-25 here.
Which is not here tonight.
That's sad. Someone that's almost always in the stream. Hello. Thank you for sending this in. I would like to talk about the weird satanic stuff that happens in my local woods. So I live in a small town in Maine called West Bath. Nothing really happens here, but lots of rumors go around about the woods. Now, keep in mind, it's from the rumor mill, so take everything with a grain of salt. One of the most popular rumors is that back in the 1960s, 5 people got killed in those woods by a satanic cult.
What the F?
I would like to pause and let you know that there would be record of that, so if you can go ahead and try and look those up, you could probably do it online and maybe at your local...
library?
Sure. I don't know if it'll be in the library.
Place.
You'd have to look for newspaper clippings in the library.
Microfiche?
Sure. Would you say microfiche?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how that fits in, but...
Well, you can scroll through the articles through it, right?
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I didn't know that's what it was called. But yeah, I'm just saying, you can try and confirm that to see if the rumors have any basis in truth. The email continues, I don't know the name of this cult, in quotes, but rumor has it that they still go back there at night. Anyways, people have supposedly found pentagrams and dead goats and chickens missing their heads. Kinda sketchy. Another story, this one being real, is about the 1700s massacre that happened in those woods. Short version of the story is that the local natives did not like the settlement that was being built there, so they snuck in the middle of the night and slaughtered most of the settlers. You can look it up. It's called the Aroostook Massacre. Aroostic.
Ooh.
It's interesting. Supposedly, that's why cults go there.
What?
Freaky shit. That would make sense. The site of a massacre would attract, I won't say cults in general, but a specific type of like sacrificial group might wind up making their way to a site of like a horrible massacre. My friends and I also found a big Bowie knife next to a stump when we went dirt biking back in July of 2019. By the way, the girl that went missing just ran away, nothing satanic related. Anyways, thanks guys. I didn't realize there was a girl that went missing there. So cool. Nice to know that it was just a normal standard like running away. I hope she came back safe and sound, or wherever she went up, she's safe and sound. So that's really interesting. I'm going to look up this Aroostook Massacre and see what's going on with it. And I feel like I kind of need to look into this 1960s possible murder situation scenario going on over there. But yeah, good stuff. Thank you for sending us the fucking tea on your local town in the woods.
Woods just are creepy in general. I know lots of kids just party and stuff in them and have bonfires and stuff like that.
You go
but
camping in them. You can do other stuff too.
There are so many areas that a lot of people don't go to very often. And so because it isn't well traveled, weird stuff happens there because people can get away with doing stuff there, you know? So it's kind of creepy. You know, I mean,
it's that old My Favorite Murder saying, like, stay out of the woods, right?
I think so.
Or don't go into the woods.
Oh my gosh, I haven't listened to them in like 3 years.
But yeah, thank you so much for sending that in. And, you know, as a kid who grew up in the Midwest, I spent a lot of time in the woods. It was mostly like making silly movies and doing fun stuff like that. And it was funny because I just got done talking to a friend, and we talked about the TV show Alone, which we've mentioned a lot since we started watching it. And we were debating about like how long we could last alone. And he mentioned that he thinks the thing that would send him home almost immediately is like anything that's poisonous, because he's so incredibly contagious to like poison oak and poison ivy that like just even looking at it makes him feel like he's going to break out. I was like, oh man, I didn't even consider that. So
and
it's another thing to stay out of the woods.
Eating parasites and eating things that you really shouldn't be eating.
Obviously, you don't want to eat parasites.
But you don't know. Atrocious. You just do on accident.
I guess. I mean, if you're lucky enough to catch something and then not cook it properly. So, all right, cool. Thank you so much for sending that in.
All right, so we're going to go into the last email of the night, and the subject is Sweet Dreams Are Made of These.
Is it really?
Yes.
That's awesome. Because when you said sweet dreams, it's immediately where my brain went to.
Hello, spooky friends. Hello.
And all you have to say hello wherever you're at right now. Loudly. Do it.
I'm back again with another... Oh my god, I heard it. No joking.
That's funny. That's a good joke.
I'm back again with another email. In this one, I will share 2 short stories of dreams and 1 story of my omen baby. All right, let's do this. Quick, some background about when I dream. When I have a nightmare, it'll take me a bit to realize. But once I do, I find my safe spot and close my eyes tight until I'm pulled out. What's a safe spot? Let me explain. When I realize I'm in a nightmare, I can warp the setting of the dream to my house. Once I'm in my house, I go to a specific place where I'll be safe to close my eyes. Normally, it's my closet or the bathroom. This is important for these 2 stories.
Interesting. It's like a safe word for your dreams.
The first story goes...
Pineapple. Not my actual safe word. Keep going.
The first story goes like this. I've had a recurring nightmare for most of my life, but it doesn't come every night. It comes only once I've remembered a recurring nightmare, but don't remember what it's about. I recently had it, so it's sort of fresh in my mind. It started in a freaky summer camp setting with a psycho camp director. Once I realized what was happening, I warped the dream into my house, ran upstairs, and into my closet, hiding behind some clothes. I shut my eyes and began to escape, but the camp director was in front of me and said, quote, "You'll need to try better than that."
Wow,
end quote.
that's
That
terrifying.
is nightmare fuel right there. Holy crap. But I got out, so I guess I win. Thank goodness I won't be seeing her for a while. When you can't escape the horrifying things in your dreams, that's what freaks me out the most. So I've had night terrors where it's like constant screaming. You try and cover your ears and your eyes, but all I see are demon faces behind my eyelids and screaming, and it doesn't go away and it just gets louder. Those are just...
Speaking of nightmare
the
fuel,
worst.
Jesus Christ.
I
know we've heard this from you multiple times, but it's just creepy every single time.
The next dream is similar, but still really scary. I don't remember much of this dream, but near the end, I was being chased by something in the woods. Woods again.
I know, it keeps coming back up. It's a recurring theme this episode.
I tried to warp the dream and find my safe spot, but my house never appeared. That is terrifying. Because then it's like, is this real? Oh my god, you know? This was frightening because I need to be standing still to close my eyes and escape. I can't stand still with this thing chasing me. I decided to run off to the side and hide behind a tree. As I curled up and shut my eyes, I heard the creature laugh and say in a gravelly, threatening voice, "You think you can escape me?"
Wow.
I woke up a second later and I thought to myself, I just did.
Yeah, I was going to say, just did. You suck.
That's 2 dream stories, so now it's the Omen Baby story time. Her name is Truffles. Oh my
It's an
freaking
adorable
god.
name.
Oh my gosh, I want to pug and name it Truffles. That'd be such a good one.
Why? Oh, because it snorts.
Because, yeah!
That's funny.
Truffles has been shy ever since we rescued her from a box. She never liked being touched all that much and hid under beds. Recently, she's become super cuddly with me. She'll rub against me and follow me around. She's even begun to curl up and sleep with me as I fall asleep. With everything going on in the world, her affection means so much to me. Aw, so it's just like this heartwarming story about their omen babies. Nice. That's it for now. Thanks for reading and listening. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay spooky.
We shall try and do all of those things. So
thank you so much, Amber, for sharing that with us.
I've mentioned it before. I definitely had nightmares a ton when I was a kid, and I eventually developed the ability to just smash my eyes closed as hard as I could when something terrible was happening. And then when I opened them slowly, I've been doing it so tightly in my dream that I wound up doing it in real life. So I wound up just opening my eyes like into whatever room I'm sleeping in. And that has worked very effectively for me. I think it's funny to hear all the different methods that people have for escaping their dreams, in particular their nightmares. Because I've never thought that it could have so many steps, that some sort of dream entity could try and prevent you from leaving or sabotage your attempt, like Neo trying to get out of the fucking Matrix and they're shooting the phones and shit. So that is really interesting to hear, and it's also like this extra layer of terrifying that I hope my dreams don't pick up on now that that's been implanted into my brain. So I don't know, have you ever had anything where you like were trying to escape a dream? I know we've had instances where you've woken up and like not actually woken up, you thought you were awake, but anything where you were actually trying to get out of the dream and it didn't work?
When I dream, I'm like in the dream. I don't have that I don't even know what you'd call it, mental acuity. I don't realize I'm in a dream.
Right.
I just think I'm living my life. So when I wake up and I'm not rich, I'm like, fuck, this sucks.
That's funny.
No.
When she wakes up and she rolls to the other side of the bed, I'm like, shit, what did Dream Adam do this time?
I haven't had one of those dreams in a while.
Thank God. I had one of those dreams and she was rolled away, like on the other side of the bed. I'm like, fine, fuck you, whatever, I don't even care.
I know. I was like, what
I told her the
fuck?
next day, I was like, you were whoring my dream, and then you weren't near me in the bed when I woke up, and I was like, I don't
Good.
even care, fine.
You were like,
there.
good.
Be over there. So, it's weird what happens in dreams. But thank you so much for sending that in. We sincerely appreciate it. So thank you one more time for everyone who sent in their stories. We sincerely appreciate you. If you have thought about sending a story, if you have a friend who you know has a story, then you've been encouraging them to do it, encourage them more and send your story in. We need them right now. And you can send them to storytime@scaryish.com, which is our email address. You can also go to our website, scaryish.com, click on Contact Us, send it that way. You can hit us up on any of our social medias. We have Facebook, which is facebook.com/scarishpodcast. Message us directly that way. You can also go over to Instagram, which is @scarishpodcast, and message us there. Or you can tweet at us, or direct message us, I guess, on Twitter, which is @scarishpod. We hope to hear from you. Robin, for folks who would like to donate to us, how can they do so?
You can go to patreon.com/scaryishpodcast. Those are monthly donations. Tiers start at $1, and that's how you can get ad-free episodes. So for $1, ad-free. And right now, Badge of Honor patrons and above get lovely Wendigo keychains that are pretty stinking cute, if I do say so myself. I'm designing a cryptid series right now, so the lineup is like the Wendigo, Krampus, Nessie, I think. Or no, did I already do Nessie?
I don't know if you've sent those
not
yet
yet.
or not.
Not yet. That's coming. So lots of cryptids coming if you folks want to be Badge of Honor tier and above. You guys will get those. I also have stickers and magnets lined up for the rest of the year. So Christmas, look out. And yeah, and if you want to do one-time donations, you're not into the whole monthly thing, you can go to ko-fi.com/scaryish podcast. And those are all one-time donations, makes it quick and easy for you. And all your donations go to helping us upgrade our studio setup and help us kind of keep going, give us more time to make content for you folks. And if you've been with us since the beginning, you know that we've been slowly upgrading everything as we go, and you'll notice differences the more episodes you kind of listen to and things like that. And we really appreciate it that we wouldn't be here without all of you and all of the support from everyone. You guys are absolutely awesome, and we thank you folks every day.
Indeed. Thank you one more time for everyone who watched, everyone who listens, everyone who participates. You folks are wonderful. So I think it's just about everything we have. So Robin, go ahead and sign us out.
Keep on creeping on, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye-bye.